Okay, I'd like to invite everyone to stand for the Pledge of the Flag. I'd like to invite Matt Cooper up to lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Matt.
Well done, sir.
You're going to be famous now.
He already was.
Okay. It's been so long since I've been in a meeting, it's been a full month on my timing's off here a little bit, but minutes of February 5th. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on the minutes of February 5th, which Commissioner Gibbons did a fantastic job of that meeting.
Yeah, it sure did.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Financial report and payment of the bills. We have a motion to approve the financial report.
So moved.
Second.
And a second. Any discussion on the financial report? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Steve, you have a budget amendment?
Actually, I have two tonight. The first one is budget amendment number 2020-07 is to recognize $2,384 in insurance reimbursements from the JIT for mold testing related to the damages to the municipal building from the August 2019 storm.
Do we have a motion to accept budget amendment 2020-07? We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
The second one is budget amendment number 2020-08 is to transfer $3,738 from the Department of Public Works line item for minor equipment into their line item for capital equipment. And that's for the purchase of a transmission jack at the amount of $1,643, a 30-ton press for the amount of $2,095. So it's just shifting money that was already budgeted between categories.
Very good. We have a motion to approve budget amendment 2020-08.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Lou, do you want to run through your town administrator's report real quick?
Yeah, real quick. The first item I have is a proposal by GHD. There are two engineers that were involved in the design and construction management of our treatment plant. And you had asked that we get an estimate on expanding from the current 3.2 million gallon capacity to a 4.3 million gallon capacity. It's a rather complex task to do that because of all the considerations, regulatory and construction involved. And the GHD gave us a scope of services, and rather than go through the entire list, they did give us a rather detailed list, and they said they can provide this report within 12 weeks, and then a final report within 4 weeks, and they can report that to the town. And the cost for engineering services is $28,750. If you want a relatively accurate analysis on the treatment plant, I would recommend you accept this proposal.
Lou, would that be funded out of the sewer fund?
Out of the sewer fund.
Do we have a motion to move forward with the water treatment,
For the wastewater
treatment plant study?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that at all? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, Lou.
Okay, the other items I have are alcohol waivers. First one is Republican Club of Cecil County requests a waiver for a chili cook-off on March 7th, 2020. Do we go through them all and then you?
No, we'll just do them right as soon as you say them.
Okay, that's.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the waiver for request for alcohol on March 7th?
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
The second one is for Elkton Alliance, request for a waiver for the Dinner Theater Under the Stars event that's scheduled for May 16th.
We have a motion to accept the May 16th waiver for alcohol for the dinner theater under the stars.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next one, the Elkton Alliance request for a waiver for Dog Days of Summer event. And it's on June 19th, 2020.
And what is that, Louis Dog Days of Summer?
It's
Jessica.
Commissioner.
Oh, so I get
Yeah,
that.
no problem. We have an event every year where we encourage people to bring their animals downtown. And a lot of our restaurants do not allow animals inside, so this way they can still go get food and eat outside and enjoy the event.
We have a motion to accept the alcohol waiver.
So moved.
Motion,
Second.
second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, why didn't you jump? I'll tell you about that story a little bit later. Okay, do we, your next
Stay in
lane.
your lane.
It was about the roast we had for Earl the other night.
Elkton Alliance request for a waiver for Red, White, and Brew event, July 10th, 2020.
Do we have a motion to accept the alcohol waiver for July 10th?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Blue is for brew?
Brew, red, white, and brew.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
The Elkton Alliance again request for a waiver for the Corn Fest event on August 14th, 2020.
We have a motion to approve,
So moved.
and a second?
Second.
And what is the Corn Fest? That cornhole?
It's the cornhole.
Okay, very good. Very, very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And Elkton Alliance request for a waiver Turkey Trot event, November 25th, 2020.
We have a motion to accept.
So moved.
Any discussion?
Yes, Earl don't know what the turkey trot is. I tried to explain it. Jessica, you want to say what?
The town has a tradition of everyone going downtown to, I guess, bring their family and friends up out of town, and they come downtown and they go to the different bars and whatnot, and this way it allows them to stay involved with the crowd.
Okay, we had a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And the last one is Elkton Alliance request for a waiver for SantaCon event, December 19th, 2020.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Can I ask a question? Do we already do the alumni?
I'm getting ready to throw that in right now if we could. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna throw one in. We proclaimed October, this year it'll be October 2nd, will be the first Friday in October, and it's Elkton Alumni Day, and we're gonna hope to have a large crowd of Elktonians that have graduated from certainly Elkton High. So I'd like to have a motion to accept.
Excuse me, Mayor, I think I saw an email today that one of the organizers has to have surgery and they want to move it back a week. So it would actually be the last Friday in September is what they're looking at. Did you see that?
We did, and we sent you a response back, and it was, we're gonna, the October, the first Friday in October will remain the Alumni Day, but that's for a specific class. So they wanna have their own little thing, which we're not gonna, I mean, I'm just saying, that can be a separate venue when they come and present it to us.
Sorry.
That's okay, no, that's a great question. All in favor on October 2nd?
Aye.
Motion carries. Anything else, Jess?
I think that.
Lou, anything?
That's everything.
Lou, anything else?
That's all I had.
Okay, we had a few folks here tonight I wanted to introduce before we get our Parks and Rec on. Got Bill Couch in the background. Bill's our council member from the county council. Thank you, Bill, for coming. We have our next school board member, Tierney Davis. Stand up. Tierney, you want to say anything? Tell us a little bit about yourself, or?
Sure. Well, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to come in and speak today and introduce myself formally to my mayor and to my town commissioners. I really do appreciate the opportunity, and also the folks here in Elkton. I'm a 20-year Elkton resident, and I have a son that's a freshman at Elkton High School. And I'm running for the school board for District 2 here in Elkton. And I hope to make a difference, of course, to ensure that we focus all of our attention on providing our students with the best education possible, and so they can have a bright future and become productive citizens. And I'm a Air Force veteran, and I currently work for the Department of Homeland Security. I've been working there for about 18 years now. And, so I'm a little busy time right now, as you know. I mean, we're
Yes.
one year of the Spear right now, so it's a lot going on. But I appreciate the opportunity again to speak in front of you folks today. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
We also have Miss Diane Heath. Come, stand up and tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing.
Hi, my name is Diane Heath, and I am running for school board as well, but I'm District 1. But how school board works is that even though I'm representing District 1 in the school board, I actually represent all of our students. So it doesn't really matter what district you're from. You're still, representing all the students and teachers for the county. So I wanted to stop by and just introduce myself. I am actually a graduate from Elkton High School. And then I attended Salisbury University where I had a business degree, and I played softball there as well. I currently coach the Bow Manor softball team with some other great coaches, and really hope to be able to have the privilege of serving on the board and be able to support our children.
Absolutely.
Now, were you at Salisbury the same time Chris Linkus was there?
We're not going to talk about that.
I know you weren't there when Lewis was there. Lewis is a Salisbury grad.
I probably shouldn't say this, but Chris and I are cousins.
Oh, how did this happen? Wait a second here. Now I'm learning all kinds of things here.
I don't know, you probably don't want to,
Did you graduate high school last year?
Thank you so much.
Can I introduce to our next
Oh my
politician?
gosh.
Very good.
You made my day. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Diane. Okay, next up we have a discussion about our neighborhood community center needs, and tonight we have Mary's going to come up with her group, I think, to tell us a little bit about her. Do you want to? Ed's going to come up. Ed Ginder?
That's our spokesman.
Ed's the spokesperson?
Ed, if he needs any of us, I'll be the first one to get up in there.
Okay.
Right now.
Ed Ginder, 9800 Place, Elkton, Maryland. I would like to thank the board for allowing us to have the time to share our concerns with you as far as the community center. The thoughts and opinions that I'm about to give you do not reflect my thoughts and opinions solely. It's as a whole for the Parks and Recreation Board. I would like to introduce some of the members of the board, advisory board, Mary Ann Trotta, Chris Linkus, Torta.
God bless you.
Bob Davis cannot be here, and also Brian Triolopoulos. Don't ask me to spell that.
It's a big
but,
name.
They have other commitments. Brian is coaching lacrosse at Manor High School. I would like to start by saying that this community center, when it opens up, will be the most high-profile building in the town of Elkton and possibly Cecil County. Other municipalities are going to be looking to Elkton to see what we're doing, and possibly in the future may introduce some type of a community center in their communities. You're going to be the front runner in offering passive and active recreational programming within this building. With Mary McGall's guidance, the Director of Parks and Recreation, we have some opinions and viewpoints we'd like to share with you. Before the first day the building is open, we should have our staff in place as far as training, both first aid and the use of the facilities itself. We have to have all the equipment, proper equipment in place, both accessory, furniture, and also sporting equipment. It's like a carpenter. It's hard to do a job. He goes to the job and he only has half the tools in his toolbox to do the job. If he doesn't have all his tools, he cannot complete the job to its fruition. We are asking for you to think about this and see what you can do that this facility is opened up day one to the public and is fully facilitated with what we need to have in order to run proper programming. Presently, there are 2 full-time employees. To properly staff this building, we are requesting that there should be at least 5 full-time employees plus 2 part-time employees and 1 full-time custodian to properly run this building and to assure that the maintenance and upkeep of this building is up to date.
Would you say again 5 full-time, and what are those other 2 numbers?
2 part-time.
2 part-time?
Staff hiring should be in place when turnkey operation. People are gonna be walking into that door, seeing this nice shiny entrance, and they're gonna be greeted with a smile on their face from the staff. And we need to have this building up and running when we open up the doors. There'll be enough time to properly train, and we need enough time to properly train and orientate the staff. This is weeks before we actually open up, as far as training and first aid, and as far as building maintenance, as far as upkeep, security, locking and opening up and closing.
Can I just interrupt you real quick? How many full-time staff members do you have now?
Myself and 1 other. Yes.
And how many part-time? Any?
We have about 20, 22, maybe part-time that just do activities.
Okay,
They're not like regular part-time that are doing anything, they're just
Okay.
running programs.
thank you.
Hours of operation would be weekdays from 9 to 9 p.m., Saturdays from 9 to 6. And hours are also subject to change because of the need of the programs, how much programming there is, we need to be flexible with that. Sundays would be open up for a rental use spaces only, for any outside organizations that want to rent the building. As stated earlier, this building will be the most recognized and high-profile building in Elkton and possibly Cecil County when it opens up. When guests enter the building, they will be greeted with a smile. They will notice that the new shining interior of the building, everything will be new. It will be the start of something new, big, and good for the residents of Elkton and Cecil County, from the children through senior citizens. Any questions?
Do we have a list of the items that you're requesting?
Mary is working on that.
With the 5 full-time and the 2 part-times, what positions do you assume they should have?
I think the,
To operate the building and for all the programs out of that?
Jersey,
What do you
Chris, share your thoughts.
We gotta have a custodian
You got it, yep.
full-time
All right.
for the building. But you're the
That's it.
UND.
We have,
All right, go ahead. Mary.
currently it's myself and a recreation coordinator. I would like to add 2 additional coordinators and then a supervisor.
Just give it to us, I guess, give it to us in writing.
I would like to know the details on how you're hiring them, the staff that you're looking for, because I want to be fair to the community. I looked at the part-time, your hours, if you already got this all laid out, your part-time people, I would like to, since we're setting a precedence for the other county, I would like to see part-time be some student in phys ed or something that we could use as part-time, give them the job and train them in that department that they're wishing to, looking for in the future. So that would be a good place for a part-time student from maybe the high school that is seeking educational, what is it?
Pursuits.
No, with your phys ed, something that's in their next role, 11th or 12th grader that is moving into that field. So I'm just saying that part-time, when he asked the question, what exactly are you looking for from the part-time person? That's what I think you were saying, right?
Yeah.
It would probably be during the day or in the evening. If there's a full-time staff there in the evening, the person would be behind the desk greeting people coming in, or if a full-time employee is there manning the front, this person would be walking around the building, making sure everything is running right and properly the way it should be run. One of the new employee hires we would like to possibly have experience or a degree in Parks and Recreation to help Mary along. Mary's gonna be burdened with an awful lot of responsibility in this building, and she needs to have the staff to back her up and make sure it runs smoothly.
And safely.
Well, certainly, I think that become a budgetary item, because if you're gonna get a person with a degree, you're gonna be paying them some money. So I don't know whether our budget will reflect that. I guess we have to go through that. Secondly, Louis, do we have any grants for that building that will allow, rent?
That to be rented?
Right. Because,
I'm not sure if Mary,
Yes, we can run it out.
okay,
We did check into that, we can.
okay.
That's nice.
So you're getting together a list of equipment that you need?
I have a list.
You're working on, okay.
Well-
And how about a list of programs that you want to take off running with? That you're using all this personnel for?
I think we all agree that when we cut that ribbon and the folks are going in, we can't have a bare building.
Exactly.
I think we recognize that.
Pretty, I would think a soft opening in the beginning, soft, because you don't know what you're gonna come up against, you don't know what's gonna happen, and then eventually down the road, get a grand opening when you have all your ducks in a row. Because for one, you're not gonna open that building and working with failure in the beginning. You're gonna have everything, so do soft, make sure all the ducks are in a row, and make sure you open up in a very positive, friendly atmosphere, so.
And I think it's, and listen, we thank the Parks and Rec Board for everything they've done. And I can tell you, with the experience that this group has, that we were able to assemble, your input is very important to us, and it means a lot to us.
Now, in Carpenter Sports Building, I had 33 students working for us, running a $23 million building. But you know what the problem is, you just don't put a youngin' up in there for 19 years old, and they don't have a clue what's going on. So that's why we're asking for somebody that has a little bit of experience, that has a background of recreation, that want to pursue it in the future to make a better future. A lot of students I've realized through the years that honestly, they think it's just a good, oh, I'm gonna be working for the rec department, I'm gonna be playing basketball all day. That's not the truth. They have to really wanna go up in there and make this something that's gonna be really good for them in their future. So we gotta really look at a lot of things, because it's not just pulling somebody off the street because it's a youngin' that wants to think they're gonna have going for that degree in something, you
And
know.
also the safety of the workers
The
and the
safety
kids
of
who
the
are in there
work,
playing.
exactly.
Who's coming in, who's going
going
out.
out.
You're gonna have somebody at that front door, I would say
Recreation
almost all the
cards,
time.
all the time. The recreation
And if
cards,
Mary's doing all her programming, she might not be at the building, so you need somebody with
That's
authority.
gonna know what they're
Can't be a
doing.
16-year-old kid with a key.
And I feel pretty comfortable with
And
it.
that's part
that's
of
the biggest.
our idea of getting the personnel in
The
place
right
before we
people.
open up, so they can be orientated into
And train.
first aid and everything. Also, with this building opening up, by no means we want to discontinue the community recreation program in the community. It's not just a focus on this building, but it's the whole community as a whole.
As always, yeah.
Well, thank you, guys.
I had one question before you go. I'm a little curious as to how you came to terms on your hours. I noticed you're open till 9 o'clock on the weeknights and closing early on Saturday. What was the reasoning there?
In discussion with the board as a whole, we felt that we need to be flexible, because there may be we're gonna push for co-rec volleyball, adult programs, high school programs. Like there may be a volleyball league that we have 12 teams that may have to go past 9 o'clock. We'd be there having the staff available till 10 o'clock. Saturdays is based on just having it open up. If we feel there's a need to extend it past 6 o'clock on a Saturday night, we will do so. We need to remain flexible with this. So it's not cut and dry as far as hours of operation. And this is
Because we don't
discussed
know.
with Mary.
Yes.
Mary had a lot of feedback into this as far as the hours have been set, so.
Have you started interviewing anybody yet?
No,
That would be Mary's
No.
responsibility.
we were going to advertise a position based on budget approval. So I believe, I gave them job descriptions, so hopefully we'll start getting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I had mentioned to a couple of people, and I just now realizing your hours 9 to 9, but I told them that, I'll give them the name of the people on the committee, W.L. Gore, they have a volleyball league and everything, and I know a lot of places have adult leagues starting from 8 to maybe 11 after hours. But it's gonna have to be you guys to determine, here's a good chance for some off-site rental after hours for adults, but you guys have to prove that. I just threw it out there, that would be a good start with some organizations that already have volleyball leagues.
We would love to see, when you have another opportunity, there, we can go stay until 11 o'clock.
Absolutely.
That's down the road.
In my past experience with Parks and Recreation, I had a high school league and an adult ice hockey league, and they couldn't get on ice till 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. That was the only time available. It was a very successful league, so, supply and demand.
Gotcha, thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Thank you.
I have to tell you, the community center's come along. Lou has been on top of his game over there, making sure everything's happening, and I saw some colors being painted by Mary's pictures today, and I have to tell you, I'm still optimistic it'll be before June, but it's gonna be,
Well, it's not the matter of the
It's
building
timing of the
being
flooring
completed by the
anymore.
contractor. It's as the rec committee has indicated, you'd have to have staff that is trained in operations, first aid, and all those factors
All that.
in place. That may not happen until the building is ready for
You're
the
correct.
staff to go in there and even do this. So and we have to have people to do it. I mean, it's 9 to 9 and all that is good, but that's a lot of people, man hours, they have to be accounted for here.
well, thank you. Lou, did you have anything else on your agenda?
No, it's fine.
Okay, very good. Lou sent out to the staff, and thank you, Lou, he sent out to the department managers in regards to the coronavirus. He put together a kind of a plan in place for the town of Elkton, and I appreciate you doing
That's
that.
from the CDC, there
Yep.
were some recommendations.
Thank you. I'm glad everyone received that, so I want to let everyone know the town of Elkton, I feel we're prepared. Let's see, there was, I
hate to interrupt you,
Yeah.
but given the scenarios that the press and the CDC and everybody is projecting for this coronavirus, that may actually affect our rec center and its opening and the number of people that would be there, because
it could,
we don't know at this point in time, a couple of months from now, if this thing's gonna die out or whether it's gonna blossom into something that's gonna be critical for everyone in this community and every other community to deal with. It's a very serious thing because of the fatalities that involved. Just my 2 cents there.
well, very good. I noticed that, and I think we talked about this, but we didn't meet very much last month, but I see on the meeting schedule, did we postpone the July 1st meeting?
Not yet, just not make that official.
Okay, I know we'll be in Ocean City for the venue, and I saw it there on my calendar. I just wanted to mention that. On Saturday night, we had the Earl Piner roast, and I thought it went over very, very well. We were able to roast Earl, and I have to tell you, our MC, Rob Masmiano, is unbelievable. He does a fantastic job. I think if anyone ever wants to hire him as a part-time MC, he is the best. Commissioner Givens was unbelievable.
Is that right?
You were. He was fantastic up there, and I have to tell
I
you,
couldn't believe it.
Earl, I was shocked how well he stepped up his game, and he did a wonderful job.
And
So-
kept it under an hour.
He did. He did a great job. So the roast was fantastic and went very well. I also attended a mayor's meeting in Annapolis where you always hoped 157 mayors throughout the state would attend, but I think we had about 68 mayors attended the venue. We met with the governor last month, and we all have an opportunity to put our 2 cents in about what we need for our community. And when I say 2 cents, that's about as much time as you got with me. You just got a real quick second there. So I don't have anything else to report that I can in the public setting. Now, we will have, I'm going to request a closed meeting to talk about 2 things with council. But Rob Masmiano, what do you got?
I'd like to touch on the roast and say that it was a great success. We will be doing it again next year. It's a fun time. I recommend you all come out. Earl was a great sport. Rob and Charles, they did a great job. Everybody did a great job. And also, this coming Monday, the 9th, I'm going to be principal for a day at Elkton High School.
You want some instructions?
I'm going to wear my Bo Manor shirt.
Yeah.
Want some instructions? Yeah, that'd be nice.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank the committee from the Parks and Rec. You guys do an outstanding job. Now, for the roast, I must comment and say, yes, I agree. Rob Masmiano did do an excellent job. Didn't realize how hard it was being the roastee. I was having fun with Rob's last year, but this year, I felt a little nervous when I first started out. But thanks to all my good friends, I'll never have them come talk about me again. No, I'm just kidding. No, they done a great job, and I really had a good time myself. So, one thing I would like to say that in the near future, if you didn't make it, we're going to make an opportunity where you can get a DVD of the roast. We have talked about that. It'd be nice when you can't make something, come and then that money can go, or some of the money towards the Elkton Lions to help with their fundraising, because that was an option that was oversaw. We oversaw it. But anyway, I can get you some copies if you need one. But anyway, I talked to my brother. But anyway, thanks again, Mr. Gibbons. Hope you're next. See you. Thank you.
Charles?
I think the roast went very well. My congratulations to the Recreation Committee. Certainly, you've done a great job in the proposals that you're making. My line of work was similar to that, except I was a physical education teacher, but there was a lot of crossovers, but you all have done a great job, particularly needing the equipment when you open up the very first time. Sometimes it's best to have more than less, so Mary, that should be something you can think about. And a couple of weeks ago, Donnie Andrews, I guess he saw Rob and myself separately, and he asked if there could be a road named Dave Williams Boulevard out there where the Williams Automotive Center is. And certainly there is a blue sign that has gone up, and it's on an access road going into his dealership, so it's not a change that was made in Elkton before where you gotta change addresses. So if you ride by there, you see that little blue sign, it's called Dave Williams Boulevard. And that's all I have. You know it now.
I sure do. Yeah, no, I don't have anything this evening, just thank you for all the guests that came by to visit with us tonight. I wish you the best of luck in all your endeavors. And thank you to Parks and Rec. I'm looking forward to moving forward with this. Thank you.
So we want to get up in there.
Okay, this is the time of the meeting. We open up the floor for anyone that have anything to say. Mr. Goodwin, come on down, sign the book, and tell us what you got. Tell us your name, address, social security number, and your credit card.
That's number 2.
I'm just looking for some clarification about the community center. It'll be open, I'm actually looking, it will be open 7 days a week, and it'll be open for students, After they get out of school, they can go there and play ping pong and pool and shuffleboard. And during the summer, it will also be open 7 days a week for kids to go hang out.
The, what was proposed tonight, as they were talking, was 6 days. So it wouldn't be open on Sunday at this point, but it's given some flexibility. But yeah, absolutely, what you're saying is what our goal is, and
Ping pong, pool, and shuffleboard.
a little bit of everything.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. And I know Mr. Duffy has something to say. Come on down.
Come on down, yes, sir. Oh, my.
And I know he wants to talk about the lighting of the pole.
Yes, let me try sign.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're the man. All right, Mr. Mayor, what's the story on the light on the phone?
Well, Mr. Duffy, I know that you've been in, you've talked to Michelle,
Michelle's been great.
and everything that she could probably do best in answering, but our understanding, it's not a federal law,
It is.
okay?
I talked to the American Legion this morning.
It's flag etiquette law,
He told me it's a federal law. And
and,
why isn't it on there? I'm a veteran. I
well,
have less people in the war.
well, here's what I want to continue.
Okay.
We've been under the understanding
Mm-hmm.
that you need to illuminate
Mm-hmm.
the flag. Not, there's nowhere in there that says a spotlight needs to be placed on.
Absolutely wrong, sir.
Okay.
I talked to the Legion, I talked to, Brown's my lawyer,
Mhm.
I talked to Cecil League reporters today, they're supposed to contact you,
Mhm.
and they're supposed to, these are the advance, the American Legion said, you had one before, a couple months ago, right on the light, right on there, and I don't know what happened.
We've never had it on our pole here. It's been the same, on our pole.
Oh, yes, you did. Sir, I seen that 2 months ago.
Lou, have we taken off the,
We never had it because the illuminations is from the atrium.
No, you guys are all wrong. I saw that 2 months ago. That was lit up like bright, that light. Now, the people I live across the street, they're so crazy. He won't put a light on the flag. So what he did was he took the flag down, and he's not gonna put it up again. So I've been fighting that out right now. But I don't understand, 2 months ago, bright light on that flag, and now there's nothing.
well, I can say
Can you
this.
get a spotlight on it?
Yeah, we have discussed that we would put a solar panel light,
Mm-hmm,
and we were even considering helping over here,
mm-hmm.
but now the flag's gone.
Well, here's a problem with solar that they had. They don't work. When it's a cloudy day or something, half the time the solar lights are no good. The only thing is the spotlight.
But what I would request from you,
Mm-hmm.
if you could give us documentation that says that it needs to be,
Michelle has it, but you gave me copies of how the light should be on the flag. Do you remember that?
May I?
yes,
What I gave you calls out that the flag does not have to have a spotlight on it, but has to be illuminated in such a way that the casual observer can recognize the flag at night.
Well, I can't recognize it without a light.
I can only tell you what I printed out.
Mr. Mayor, you've got to get a light on it. I mean, I'm sorry.
well, listen, we'll have Lou take a look at, we're
I
gonna go out,
appreciate it.
listen, we're gonna go out there tonight, we're gonna look at our flag, it's,
You'll see it's dark.
well, we've been here for, and I appreciate you bringing it to our attention.
Well, I'm a veteran. I
but
know
my
a lot
gosh,
of people in Vietnam and all, and
We've been here for 22 years, and it's been the exact same way.
Yeah.
And maybe there's been some issue with our lighting inside, but we will look at it tonight.
Okay, one more question.
Yes, sir.
95 out front here. It's ridiculous. I mean, I sit out all year long. They speed terrible, up and down. Somebody's gonna get killed, and then they'll do something. And then there was a school bus. I couldn't even tell if there was kids on it or not. He flew by so fast. And they're running the light. Now, I asked the police about that, and they said, oh, we patrol it. They don't patrol it. I mean, I'm out there watching. I haven't seen one person get pulled over.
Okay.
Can you address it?
I can.
I know you can't put a blinking speed limit sign on there, because it's a, what, not a state highway. But that's what they need, something to slow the people
Slow
down.
them down.
Stop.
I would suggest, and I'm just saying it as a suggestion, because I've done it before. You see a bus that's out of control or speeding, take the number and
Yeah.
call the Board of Education, and they will, the transportation.
I wish I could take a number of all the license plates.
No, I'm just saying, take the bus number and just call it what it's chasing, and they will deal with it.
I mean, if the police would go out there once in a while, radar or something, and slow these people down, I mean, you know, it's,
I can tell you, they have done radar many times on the other side they park on Bow Street when they come across the bridge.
what's terrible, you should probably see them speeding here, haven't you?
Well, they're speeding all over.
Yeah.
I mean, people
Well, show me
speed.
stop, or somebody gets killed. Then we'll do something. All right, well, I appreciate your
Thank
work
you.
on the flag and how's the boss doing?
She's doing great. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Duffy.
sir. Thank you, gentlemen, and ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Come on down, Mr. Lemon.
The first thing, Charlie, the last meeting that you chaired, we talked about the school issue.
Yes.
Do you have any comments on that?
No, the principal is looking into the curriculum to find out if that's even possible. Then I'll get back to you with that.
That sounds more complicated than it should be.
Not really when, I guess basically when kids supposed to be in a classroom a certain length of time, and oftentimes, I know in my early years of teaching, teachers didn't mind that, but now they profess to have their kids in the classroom the fullest amount of time they can. But like I said, that's his job,
I
and
mean,
we'll find out.
we've done it several years before.
But that was an isolated class, and Lois and Rob and Earl, we all went up there, and that's when the lady was in charge of the government department. So she made it possible to have certain kids, and particularly her kids, and Island's kids, and we went in that classroom. And that was a different principal there too, so that's why I'm saying he needs to allow that to happen.
I think that class were extra credit people.
It was, that's what I said, it was an honors class, and that allowed to happen. Because when you go to some classroom and kids are in there with IEPs and other things, parents can, be rebel rousers.
But listen, Mr. Lemon, you have an opportunity right now to address 2 school board members over there if there's something we want to get into this curriculum.
Well, I thought I was finished on that subject, but since I've been coming to the meetings, for a number of years now, but before, when I started coming to the meetings, I learned how important these meetings are, how informative they are, and I learned a lot about what happens here in the town of Elkton, and there's a lot of people doing a lot of good things. And we've had 2 sessions up there where the police department has gone up there and explained what they do and how they keep samples of everything that they pick up and so forth and so on. And Parks and Recreation's been up there. The different departments have been, Public Works has been up there. They explain how they do their work in one thing or another, and the administration's been up there, so forth and so on. I think it's very important, and from my perspective, I think it's important not to have one class, but to get several classes into the auditorium and let them see what's going on here in the town. And to me, it's been very educational, and what we want to do is get students interested in what's going on in the town and hopefully participate in what's going on here like the people that are sitting here do.
Yeah, maybe we could have a municipal day in the schools.
There you go.
Municipal days in the school.
So you guys are going to the school board, so I think
If you
the
vote for
question
me.
is, why do you? What'd you say?
I said, if you vote for me, you have to vote for me first. But then, yes, then I'm going to school board.
I'll vote for you.
There you go.
Thank you.
At least you got one vote, right? Plus your own.
I got 2.
No, I think the one thing, you are on the school board and you have a lot of tough issues over there, but it should be easier to get things done like this than it appears to be. The principal, as I see it, does not have authority to say, well, we're going to do this. He has to go up to the school board and get permission from somebody to do it.
Yes.
And where I come from, you try to push decision-making down and not centralize like they do here in the school board. Just a comment. I didn't plan on saying that much. But you've got to believe in what's going on here in Elkton. They're doing a lot of really good things, but you got to be here to know what's going on. Most of the time. You're going to get picked up, right?
Yeah.
I want to ask about about the smart meters. You guys hired a company called New Gen Strategies, and they were going to audit the water use and amount of water use, bill, and tell you, when I heard it in the meeting, you were having, if I remember right, like 37% that wasn't being billed, and you wanted to get it down to, I forget what, 10% or something like that. And so that was supposed to be done early this year. Has it been done?
Where has our, we paid for,
Yeah, we are.
they're doing the audit now?
We're giving New Gen information on the budgeting, and they're working, the first thing they're working on is develop a recommended rate to cover expenditures that need to be covered. So they're giving, they're giving information as we receive it. We're just giving information from LB Water as to the advanced metering infrastructure that we've committed to now, which is related to the new meters. And when the fiscal years, they've got, actually have a fiscal year information, they have a budget information, so they are working on developing a recommended rate.
When do you think we'll receive that information?
I don't know. We're in the very early stages of doing the regular budget for the new year, so I'm working on two different things at the same time right now.
Yeah. So it isn't, I know when we do those scope of works, you know, in the real world, it takes about 3 weeks to get those things done. And of course, in government, as we know, sometimes their scope of work gives you about a year when you enter into those agreements. So they probably had anywhere from 6 months to 9 months to get that to us. So it's probably.
Are you saying it's not the real world down here?
Of course it's not. Of course it's not. We take longer, we're molasses.
No, you guys approved doing this. It was $19,000. I thought that was a really good deal. And the results, when you get the results, will really help the town, and it'll help, Steve, you were behind it, it'll help your department to be able to bill easier and one thing or another.
It should.
Yes. And the important thing is you'll know that you're getting paid for the water that is being used. And that's it, they explained it. You lose a certain amount of water when you have fires and other things like that. But I thought it was a really good deal. And you set it up. But because we're not in the real world, we'll have to wait. The other thing I want to bring up, you talked about the community center here, and I heard everything that was said. It's obviously going to, I come at it from a different direction. It's obviously going to cost more money than it has in the past, and part of it will come, part of it will be covered by funds, I assume, for various things that you have, whether it's volleyball or whatever. So, but I don't see, personally, haven't seen any numbers, so I really don't know how it's going to work out. And I didn't see here any organizational structure either when the presentation was made, and I didn't hear any dollars put to it, but that will come, dollars will come. But what I'm suggesting is that the town, and they're going through the budget process now, is take, which I think you're doing, but I want to emphasize it, is take a serious look at cost reductions. And I'm suggesting that you look at things differently than you have in the past. And I'll give you one example. I could give you a lot of examples, but I'm not going to do that here because people don't want to, this is not the real world. Anyway, I'm going to remember that. I love that. So when I'm not here, sometimes I think I'm not living in the real world too, so it's not just here. Anyway, for example, the 9/11 calls in the budget this year, it's a 3% increase which goes to $184,670, and that's up $5,378. And if I went back and looked at the old budgets back in 2016-17 budget, the cost was $160,000. Now, in the real world, what we would do is go over there and tell them that we don't have, that we're not raising taxes, we're not doing this, that we don't think we should have to pay an additional 3%. And see if we can bargain with them to get rid of the...
I like your thinking.
Get rid of the 5. In fact, if I were doing it, I would go over and say I'd like a 3% reduction rather than a 3% increase. So rather than pick up 5, I'd pick up 10. Or let's put it this way, I'd pick up 5 over this year. So that's just one example of the kind of thinking. There's all kinds of things. I've looked at some stuff. I think there's all kinds of areas that you can, if you look at it differently, you can probably figure out ways to save money that will help to cover the costs of the community center. The cost that's not covered by its own operations, let's put it that way. Now, the other side of it is, and I was concerned last year, the other side of it is that I think is very important, is that we have to be, when you're doing this budget, you have to be, in my opinion, very positive. We should have cost of living increases for the employees, which we didn't have last year, and that bothered me. We need to get back on the new automobile thing with the police department. So as I visualize what you're doing, you're putting all the must-do costs down, and then you're going to see what you have to do after that. So anyway, that's my comments there. One thing that I don't have on my notes is listening to the community center. Has there been any consideration of having volunteers do some of this stuff?
In my mind, yes.
And I can't read minds. So
I know.
That's interesting. Okay. You know, like this desk, somebody sitting at a desk, you probably have somebody, anybody could come in for a few hours. I could come in, this gentleman over here that's working on flags could come in.
That'd be perfect. We'll train you up, make sure we'll get you all trained in first aid, and we'll put you in there. Thank you, Mr. Lemon.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Let me see if anyone, Pat, you're next.
Just a real quick question.
Come on, you gotta tell us your name and your address.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pat Opal, 137 Milestone Road. I'm a little slow tonight.
Yeah.
Is the county helping the town of Elkton with the community center monetarily wise at all?
The county donated the land to put the building on for the construction, but no, there's nothing financially.
Nothing? Can you give it a shot?
Of course, we can always ask.
That was all I had.
Mr. Gibling, you had another question?
I forgot to mention one thing. I was a substitute teacher yesterday at Gilpin Manor for our 3rd grade class. And we were talking a little bit about the community center. And I asked them what are the things they would like to see. Now, 3rd graders are probably about 8, 9 years old, something like that. And they came up with different suggestions, and they really wanted these things. First was a kiddie gymnasium, and I'm not sure what that would involve. The next thing they wanted was a kiddie park. You have a doggy park, why not a kiddie park? A community tree house. And the last thing they mentioned, and I don't have the list, you know, was a reptile park. So, those are just some of the suggestions from the 3rd graders.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else have anything to, come on down, Miss Sarah Guns.
So, Sarah Evans, 131 Court, part of Hollingsworth Landing Association. We have some fun things coming up. Sheila's going to be giving you 3 papers. The first is our monthly newsletter, so you can just see what's going on in our neighborhood. The second is a flyer. We have 2 events coming up in the next month or so. The town graciously provides us with dumpsters for our cleanup day, and our cleanup day this year is March 21st. So we're hoping to tackle the field that we are now calling the nest because it's at the end of quail and mallard and gooseneck, so we've termed it the nest.
Nice.
We're going to clean that up because we have an egg hunt for the neighborhood on the 4th of April for all the fun little kids that want to come out and hunt eggs. We do need rat candy donations. We have about 1,500 eggs to fill. So if anyone has an excess supply of candy that they're looking to get rid of, we're going to sugar up the kids.
Beautiful.
That's so crazy. And not to take away, but we did leave flyers out on the table out front about the last page that we have on there, which is our 2nd annual Resource Day. This is where we partner with Unsheltered International. They come in with a tractor trailer and lots of resources. It's open to anyone that wants to come out. There is free lunch, there's worship service. They have the means to help you get your birth certificate, haircuts, clothing, hygiene products, medical checkups. We'll be there. We're going to have a voter registration table set up as well as representatives from the census out there encouraging everybody to complete their census. If you are not aware, and I don't know how you wouldn't be, the census is this year. Please fill it out. Cecil County was woefully misreported, and it cost many, many organizations funding that we should have had for the socioeconomic level of the county and the town. So please, 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 yes, sir.
Every person that is missed by the census costs us in excess of $1,800 per person.
Yeah,
And
it's
funding,
really,
federal funding.
really important to complete the census. And if you're looking for part-time employment, the census is still looking for enumerators, from what I hear. But the resource day, I'm sorry, I know I skipped over the date, is the 25th of April. It starts at 11, which is registration. Then there will be a worship service, and the lunch and the resources open at 1. So you can register and come in at 11. We would love to see everybody out there. We have a number of local organizations that will be there, as well as all of the volunteers that come up from Unsheltered International. There's flyers out front. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We would love to see everybody come out to that event. We had 300 guests last year. We're hoping to double that this year.
Where's the location again, you say?
It is at the Family Education Center, which is the MRDC building in the center of Hollingsworth Manor on Road B. 200 Road B, Hollingsworth Manor. That's right down. And there will be satellite parking that we'll have as well, because we don't have a lot of parking in the neighborhood, so. But we will get you there. It's a great day. Everything's free. There's no cost associated. Come check us out, have fun with us.
How would the community feel if an organization like the Paris Foundation was in there all the time? Is that a positive, good, bad, indifferent?
I think it would be wonderful. And the Paris Foundation does a lot of good.
And they're involved in this, correct?
They are. Our contact is through Mike, Pastor Mike as well, and he coordinates with the ministry that runs this. They're from Tennessee. They're from Tennessee. They have these resource clinics all over the country. They roll into a town and set up underneath of bridge overpasses where, they're finding these unsheltered individuals that need lifting up, whether it's financially or a lot of people who are finding themselves homeless have lost everything. They've lost their IDs and their paperwork and social security cards and birth certificates, and it's really hard to bounce back from that without these resources. Think of how hard it is to get your ID when you have no address, or you don't have your birth certificate, and how long and difficult that can be. especially if you no longer live where you were born. It becomes even more challenging. And these people have been doing this for years, and they have experience in multiple states, and it's a fantastic program. And last year was our first year with it, and wow, we didn't know what we were doing. But it was fantastic. I mean, 300 people from Elkton and surrounding areas came out to the event. Everyone had a fantastic home-cooked meal, and it's served sit-down. So it's not just like walking through the soup line kitchen, which I don't want to take away from this because they serve a purpose, but this is actually served. So all the guests come in, they sit down at a table, they're served their food at the table, restaurant style, which they're not accustomed to if they're unsheltered. So it's a change of pace, and everyone's treated with respect. So, I mean, we have little things we're doing in our neighborhood, but this one is a big event that we want just everyone to come out and see. And
Very good.
if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We'll gladly.
Thank you guys for everything you're doing. Community's getting better.
That's our goal.
It is.
And don't forget, we have cleanup day. Anybody who wants to get their hands dirty, we have gloves to protect you from that. We've got a couple of places in the neighborhood that really need picked up, and then the egg hunt. We would love to have you come out and see our kids hunting for eggs.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good job.
Anyone else have anything to say this evening? Seeing none, I need to have a closed meeting. I'd like to have a motion from the board to have a closed meeting to consult with council. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion about that? All in favor? Aye. We will not reconvene, so I'd like to ask everyone to leave. Thank you.